Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome if you are new here. Go ahead and subscribe if you want some company while you're cooking, or if you need some recipe ideas for your family, or if you just need a certain recipe. I do all different kinds of things. I always try and do something sweet also. I don't do anything sweet in this particular video, but yeah. So this recipe here that I'm making is a dairy-free macaroni and cheese. My son has a dairy allergy, so I'm trying to make something for him that I can freeze and keep on hand and just have it ready for quick nights. And I tell you what, he loves it. It can be gluten-free, egg-free, and nut-free. So it's free of all the things. I will put all of my ingredient lists down in the description box for you, so you can reference that if you need to. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get started with this. Oh, it's also a great way to hide vegetables for your kids also.
That's for sure. Take down your walls and let me ooh. Yeah, brick by brick, now let me ooh. I wanna be right there by your side. I wanna be there, won't you be mine? Take down your walls and let me. Yeah, brick by brick, now let me
You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine. But I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe, 'cause I want you here with me. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love. I look at you and know it's alright. You read my mind, but I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe, 'cause I want you here with me. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love. I don't need another love. Yeah, we do this every.
So once you've gotten all of your vegetables cut up, you're going to throw them in a pan with some, what kind of oil is that? Avocado oil. You'll throw it in with just about a tablespoon of avocado oil that you've heated up, and you'll throw your vegetables in there, and then you'll also throw in some chicken broth. I think it calls for 16 ounces of chicken broth. And you'll kind of let that just simmer and steam for a few minutes until your vegetables soften up. And then you're going to throw them into a blender.
You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you.
I have this nifty little blender here that I absolutely love. It cooks your food too. It gets up to 200 and I think it's like 220 degrees or something. And it's really good for like making sauces and your own kind of milks and just stuff like that. So I really love this blender. It is a Pampered Chef blender and it can be pricey, but if you can get it and you're making your own baby foods and stuff, I highly recommend it. But you'll throw all of your ingredients into the blender, and you'll also add some lemon juice and mustard and a few other things. And you'll use something called nutritional yeast. It's like a cheese flavoring kind of seasoning. I never knew that stuff existed until I made this. It's kind of weird, but I don't know. The macaroni and cheese tasted pretty good, so. But you'll throw it into the blender. With my blender, it heats it up and cooks it while it's blending it. So, but you don't have to do all that. You can just throw it in a regular blender and just make sure it's blended into a really nice creamy substance. And then you will just add in your macaroni. In my case, I did not do gluten-free macaroni. I used regular macaroni because there's no gluten problems here. But you are free to use gluten-free macaroni and it will be just as good. And you'll just mix it together and it makes a lot of macaroni and cheese. If you want to, half the recipe if you're not feeding for a whole bunch. But I took this and then I separated it into separate containers and I stuck it into the freezer so that I could use it as needed. And it's good, I think, for up to 3 months. And we're about to travel, so I will take some of it with me for an easy meal for my son as well.
If I'm giving you my love, giving you my love.
Next, I'm going to be making some sweet potato fries. My son loves these and I love these. I recently fell in love with sweet potatoes, so I make them more often than I should. But anyways, this is a super simple sweet potato fry recipe. I cook them in the oven for this, but you can also do them in your air fryer. I'm sure it would work just fine. I do not like French fries in the air fryer, so I use my oven for this. And I will, of course, leave my recipe down in the description box for you. And just like when you make regular homemade French fries, you want to make sure you put your potatoes into water for a few minutes, at least 30 minutes, because it helps to take away some of the starchiness that are in your potatoes.
If you're giving me your love, giving me your love, all that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave your side. I hope who I am is enough for you. If I'm giving you my love, giving you my love, love, love. Give me love, give me all your love, give me all your love. Give me love, give me all your love.
So while those sweet potato fries are sitting in the water, I'm going to prep up my chicken wings. These chicken wings were so good. I didn't even let my husband eat any of them. I mean, I didn't eat them all at once. I ate some one night and ate the leftovers the next night, but they were so good. I hate this process of cutting the wings up. It's really annoying. I couldn't find any that were pre-cut, so here I am. But I ended up making these in the air fryer, and they were delicious. I don't know why I haven't made these before. I've made them in the Instant Pot before, and they definitely were not as good. I like to make drumsticks in my Instant Pot, and then I will broil them in the oven to crisp them up. But I'll have to try those in the air fryer as well. Let me know if you have. But so I'm just going to prep these chicken wings and get them ready to throw in the air fryer. All I did was season them with salt, pepper, and garlic powder, and they were so good. Oh, and then I put mild sauce on them when they were all done cooking.
I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder. I wanna laugh out loud, talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder, love a little louder, love a little louder. We went to a small bar with neon lights. Talked about everything that was on our mind.
Talking to you give me butterflies.
So my air fryer comes with these 2 metal rack kind of tray things. I always put the parchment paper on there because if you don't, it just becomes a hard mess to clean up. So I can put those in my air fryer. My air fryer is big enough to rotisserie a chicken in, which I love to do also, and just use it for salads and stuff like that I keep throughout the week. But this is a really good air fryer. It is also Pampered Chef. You don't need to buy a Pampered Chef air fryer to make these. If you have an air fryer of your own, you can use it with no problem. But I recommend lining your air fryers with parchment paper when you cook because it's not going to hurt anything and it makes your cleanup so much easier.
Love a little louder. Love out loud.
So once those are cut up, I'm going to put them in my air fryer. I did like 10 minutes and then I rotated my pans another 10 minutes and yeah, they should be done as long as they're at 165 degrees. If you like them crispier, leave them in longer. And then I just put some sauce into a bowl and shook that bowl up to coat the wings.
Let my guard down. I wanna laugh out loud. Talk a little deeper, kiss a little harder.
Here they are all finished. They were delicious, restaurant quality. And these sweet potato fries were also amazing. I can't say enough about them. So with my bread recipe, I will have to leave that ingredients in the description box for you because I somehow lost that footage, but it's like 4 ingredients and it's super easy. And then once you're done mixing it, you just have to let it set for at least 12 hours. Up to 18 hours. In my case, this was 24 hours because I had somewhere I needed to be. And then you just kind of scoop it out onto a floured, I don't know, you can use a pastry mat. In my case, I just used the counter. You'll just scoop it out and fold it over on itself. And then you form it into a loaf and set it into your pan. I line mine with parchment paper because it's easier to just lift out and let it cool that way. So you'll form it into a loaf and just throw it in your pan. And then once they're formed into loaves and in your pans, you'll want to let them sit for 2 hours to rise again. And then you will put them in the oven for 30 minutes. I do one with a lid and one without a lid because they form different crusts with or without a lid. And you'll cook it for 30 minutes. And then if they have a lid, you will take the lid off at that point. If it doesn't have a lid, it should be good to take out once you've got your nice brown color on the top. And once you take your lid off, you'll let it cook for another 10 to 15 minutes just to brown the top of the bread. This bread was delicious. I mean, I make this bread all the time. It's so good. That's it after it had set for 2 hours. You'd see it had risen again. So it's really the best bread. My husband will eat an entire loaf if I let him, and I always make it for the holidays. But I like to make it for my son because it does not have milk, and the kind you buy at the store does. So this makes it so he can have some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, or just to eat with some peanut butter on it, or anything like that. But that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions, leave them down in the description box. Go ahead and subscribe if you would like new recipes, easy recipes, or just ideas for dinner this week. I hope you all enjoyed. Bye.